All right, we're headed down to Walton, Kentucky today to look at a couple cars. I've got some printouts of some specific ones I'm interested in looking at, a Panamera and a Bentley Continental, but also want to just take a look at all the cars for tomorrow's sale. And in the meantime, killing two birds with one stone. We've got a Sorento that we just got out of paint that I want to do a final test drive on before we send it to detail.
All right, so we're down at the Copart yard in Walton, Kentucky. We got checked in, got our vests. We're getting ready to get escorted back to look at the Porsche Panamera and the Bentley Continental.
Let's see what we can find. Oh, you gotta like that. There's an old Bentley there. Looks like a Mulsanne. Oh, look at this. He brought them up for us. There they are. Of course, covered in snow, which makes it a little harder to figure out what we got. But they do have a wrap on the Bentley, and that's something I was really worried about. In the pictures, the windows were down, so I was like, if it's raining in the car, you know, it could be a pond inside of there, which would make it very undesirable. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so we got to get the plastic off the door. So here we'll go, just put that there. So what I'm interested in on the flood cars is finding the water line. That's like the first thing we got to do. See if it got up into the electronics, if it got up into the seats. On these Bentleys, if it got into the seats, it's already going to be too much, you know? Now we are in the Midwest, so I would expect it to be fresh water, no salt water. The first thing I'm noticing is the stains on the rear seat. When you get this wicking shape on the stain, that's because water was in the seat, covering the seat, and as it drained and evaporated, it left that water line like that. So both the rear seats were underwater. I don't see a water line on the door jambs. So now I'm looking up behind the fender and in the A-pillar area, because when they check them in and pressure wash them here at Copart, they usually don't clean that area. So it's a good place to look for the water line, but I don't see anything. How low was the water? How did it get over the back seat? Yet it's not on the door jambs. I just noticed something here under the seat. I do have dirt and even some mold starting to grow here on the plastic cover on the seat track. So that was definitely underwater. You know, I'm beginning to think that they took a pressure washer to the inside of this car, because I've got dirt inside of this seatbelt loop, but not on the outside of it. All right, let's look at this. This will tell us everything. Oh yeah, look at the rust down in that power outlet. All of this was underwater. This is bad. This is really bad. This isn't good. I think it's very likely we're gonna be walking away from this one, boys. Look at these connectors. That one looks good. That one looks good. See if water got in the glove box. It doesn't look like it got in the glove box. The center console. No, I don't see any signs of water in there. Now, how could all that be clean and yet the power outlet had water in it? All right, get out the old flashlight here. Let's see if we can see anything up under the dash. It actually looks pretty good. No water got up under this dash. What in the heck is going on? I'm not sure about this car. It is just mystery central. Let's see if we can get in the trunk. Maybe that'll give us a better idea of how water got on the rear seats, but not on the front seats. This is when I wish I hadn't left my gloves in the Kia. Well, there's a dent here. That's interesting. All right, what do we find in here? So the water line in the tire well is about halfway up it. So that was clearly full of water at one point. We've got a battery on both sides. The Continentals have two batteries. I mean, all the stuff is missing out of the trunk, which is super annoying because that's not cheap. The spare tire alone is $300 or $400 for a used one. Just don't see any signs of water in the electronics. Somebody's unplugged the taillights, which is kind of weird. Why are you in here taking the taillights out? This taillight's broken anyway. It's got a big crack in it. That's about $1,200. Taillights on these things are not cheap, but I don't see any corrosion on it. The fuses all look good. Water definitely got in the trunk. I don't think it got up into the electronics, so that's a good sign, but water was in the trunk. All right, let's get over to the passenger's door, see if we can get that open. Maybe there'll be more to tell from there. Okay, so I'm looking for water line, and nothing through here, but I see it on the seat tracks. Same story, it's on the tracks. We do have dirt here. It's like the light here. Inspecting seats. All right, well, you know what I'm thinking with this car is that it was exposed to the water for such a short period of time, and it was fresh water, that where I'm really seeing the damage is in the leather and in the upholstery and not in the electronics, because I suspect the water got out of the car so fast it just didn't really have time to start corroding or doing its damage. I'm gonna go for 1 in a million shot and see if we can get the hood open on this thing.
Get all the snow off here so the hood will actually open. All right, let's find the hood release. Ah, wow, look at that, okay. Oh, this has got the little motor. I should have been paying more attention. Still a good engine, but it is the V8. The car's been wrecked and repainted. Look at this. All this has got overspray on it. It's not even the factory hood. The insulation's all gone. So we're dealing with the previous collision. Look at this, even missing bolts on it. I hate getting into other people's work. It just, 9 times out of 10, you're dealing with unprofessional stuff that just gives you more headaches than it's worth. We got damage. Oh, that's not just damage. This is rodent damage. You see where this is all chewed out here? Where it's all chewed out over here? That's from a mouse getting in here and literally chewing the plastic. When they start chewing the plastic, they also start chewing wiring harnesses. And that always is a nightmare. Wow, that scares me as much as the water damage, quite frankly. A Bentley with rodent damage? Oh my gosh, how long has this thing been sitting here? I can't imagine it had the rodent damage at the previous owner's house. I do want to check the oil for water. Then I think I'm gonna move on. That rodent damage is just, that's a killer. Ha. The dipstick's gone. You gotta love it. Was it good news and somebody kept the dipstick because they didn't want us to know? Or was it bad news and they're trying to get more money for a car that's not worth it? All right, well, I'm not completely deterred by this car, but I did find some stuff I really don't like. I'm gonna go real conservative on it. We will bid on this car tomorrow, but it's gonna have a lot of room for error. Okay, so the Panamera. This car I'm pretty excited about. It's the right kind of car for us. It's got more damage than what I typically like to get into, but it's an e-hybrid, it's a cool car, it's a sexy car, it'll be a fun rebuild. So let's take a look at it and just see how bad this thing is. Clearly you need 2 doors. The real concern I've got is about how bad the rocker is, how bad the B-pillar is. This wheel opening here is clearly hit back pretty bad. The quarter panel skin though looks like it's savable. The door does cover the rest of it. We would have to get a cut. I doubt this door is going to open, so we're not going to be able to, yeah, it's jammed in there. What's going on with this? Now this door is going to open. Okay, let's see what we got. Be careful here not to damage anything. Okay, we're not rubbing the front fender, which means nothing's been pushed forward in that area, which is good. We like that. Save this piece of tape. We'll need to put that back on here in a couple minutes. Okay, what do we got? I've got some wrinkles right here. The bottom of this B-pillar, a hinge or something's been ripped off of here. They've got little, oh, here it is. The rear door hinge has been ripped out of that B-pillar. It's clearly dented there. This is all aluminum, which is a lot harder to work with. You can't just weld it in our shop and you can't pull aluminum. So the hinge has been pulled out. We've got some torn aluminum there. We've got a dent there. We're probably looking at cutting this car, cutting it there, and cutting it somewhere back in here and replacing that entire rocker assembly, plus 2 doors. The wheel needs to be replaced. Obviously the tire's trash. We're gonna have some control arms underneath here that are broken. Really the only concern with that, a knee assembly is pretty easy to do, is if it actually ripped the control arm out of the subframe, then you're getting into a big job if you gotta put a subframe on it. Maybe I can see something looking up from the back. Oh, nothing like laying on the cold ground. Well, the lower control arm is still on there. So it's going to be one of the lateral arms, and that's just a risk we'll have to take. Who knows? What about deployed airbags? Sometimes the bags are deployed and you can't really see it in the picture. Yep, there you go. Driver's side curtain bag's blown, so probably the driver's seat is blown. Yep, driver's seat is blown. The driver's seat belt is deployed. The driver bag and the driver knee bag are both intact. Passenger bag's intact. The passenger curtain's deployed though. Gosh, I hate getting into all those airbags. So you've got both driver's side seats and both curtain bags. Wow, okay. All 4 seat belts are deployed. Both driver's side seats are deployed. Both curtain bags are deployed. You got a lot of money in airbags in this car. I would guess probably 2 or 3 grand just doing the airbags, plus the hassle of pulling the headliner out and all the work with it. That's discouraging. The car was listed as engine starts, so I suspect it'll start, or it's probably got a dead battery. We can always try it. Nothing. Battery's dead. I think the key with this car is understanding the availability of getting this rocker cut, making sure that it's something that our frame guy is going to be comfortable doing since it's all aluminum, and then just pricing out what the doors are going to cost, what all the airbags are going to cost, and just making sure that it's even going to be worth it. So I got some work to do between now and when it goes up for live auction tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to call Joe Harkey at Northern Kentucky Frame and get his opinion on that Panamera. Harkey.
Yes.
It's your favorite customer.
I know.
I got a question for you. I just left Copart down in Walton. I'm looking at a Panamera that's going off tomorrow. It's hitting the left rear door. It's gonna need a rocker cut that goes up into the wheel opening, into that dog leg, and it's aluminum.
I can't do it. It's aluminum like that.
That's what I wanted to make sure.
I tried to get a guy, that old truck. I couldn't find a soul, and I know a lot of people, in the business. You just, I don't know, just can't get it done.
I figured you would say something like that. That's why I called you first before I ended up with a paperweight.
Yeah, gee whiz, don't do that. All right.
All right, well,
You
maybe
take
next
care,
time.
man. Bye.
Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. Bye-bye. So, at any rate, Panamera's off the list. Let's look a little closer into the Continental. Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers and see if this Bentley is even going to make sense at all. With all the risk on that car, I wouldn't want to be in it for more than 35 max. Probably more like 30, but let's just say 35,000. What do we have to repair on this thing? Right off the gate is the front end was missing. A front bumper for that car, if you're lucky, you can find one on eBay for about $3,500. Then you got to get the grill. The entire grill assembly is missing, which is another $2,000 or so. All the lower grills are missing out of the bumper. That's another $1,500. Your fog lights are missing. I don't know what those would be. There was damage to the hood. There was also bolts missing out of this fender, so somebody else has done work in there. You know, with the bumper, the grill, the lower grills, you're at 6, 7. We're gonna say at least 10 grand just on the front end. Then of course you got the problem with the mice, the rats. What have they done? I mean, I could easily see us getting into having to put an engine harness on that thing. Just who knows what diag you're gonna be getting it into once we have to take it to the dealer 1 or 2 times and pay for them to go doing some diag. I would put, I mean, this might seem crazy, but I've had rodent damaged cars before and they add up fast. I'm gonna put another $10,000 on there. I think it's very likely you're looking at an engine harness plus multiple trips to the Bentley dealer. That's a big question mark item. I'm putting 10 grand out there for it. The carpet, we can pull the carpet out, use the steam extractor, not worried about that. The 2 seats, we're probably looking at some electronics on those. Getting some used Bentley seats is not gonna be cheap, 2 or 3 grand a seat. I'd say 5 grand for the seats. The upholstery on the rear seats was bad off. They were clearly underwater and have all kinds of water stains on those. So you're looking at another couple thousand. I'm gonna say another 10 grand on the interior of the car. I noticed a broken taillight in the back, that's $1,000. But all said and done, you got the front end, you got the rodent damage, you got the water on the interior. Between those 3 things, we're at 30 grand. Yes, I'm willing to go to 35 grand, but that's where I'm at. I would want to have $30,000 of the margin on that car. Knowing I'm willing to have 35 in it, that means I'm willing to bid it up to $5,000. And the car is already at $5,800. So as far as I'm concerned, that's a no-go. I'm not interested in bidding on that car. So I think at this point, we're gonna end the video and just say, well, cars not to bid on at Copart.